Hey, good afternoon. KK1L, Ron Rossi here. I want to give you an introduction to the FreqEZ band decoder antenna relay controller that I have available at my website. It was designed by K8UT Larry. He's a silent key since August of 2024, but I took over to keep his legacy alive and keep this thing out there. This is the 16 port version, so you can switch up to 16 different relays. Works great for a 2x8 SO2R antenna switch, 2x12 or 2x6 antenna switch. It can handle positive or negative relay drives. So if you have a 403A antenna switch or a VE2DX antenna switch, or if you, of course, build one of the ones that I have for DIY, KK1L, 2x6 or 2x8, it'll control it. And I give you it. This actually sits on top of it. It's a dual hardware. This is the hardware behind it, and then the software runs on a Raspberry Pi. This board runs on a Raspberry Pi. Let me power this up so it boots up. So here's this Raspberry Pi. I'm hooking it up to, this is really just a power connection for the way this is set up. So we have the software on here, which does the interfaces to the relay board. I'll plug that in. You can plug it hot. It's okay. There's not much, to go wrong on this. Let me plug that in. So there we go. You got the relay controller all set up. You can see power has been applied there. So we'll give it a chance for the Raspberry Pi to boot up, and we can run the software that runs on Windows that interfaces to either a logging program or allows BCD. So binary coded decimal. Actually, these run on 16 bits. So I mean, there's 16 states. So you can use all 4 bits, all states, to select the 16 ports on here. So you can use a rotary switch that runs BCD. Or you can manually control this unit, or you can have it controlled by N1MM or any of the other logging programs out there. It's actually the Raspberry Pi connects to your internet or your LAN, right? So it'll connect on and one of your devices on your LAN, and that's how you access it. There's UDP packets that gets transferred between these programs. That happens automatically. I'll show you how easy it is. Again, this is an intro. Not going to dive into all the details, but we're going to do that in another video. So the Raspberry Pi is booted up, no problem. I'm going to run. If you look on my main screen over here, I'm going to fire up the interface program for the FreqEZ band decoder. That's what's running in the middle of my screen. On the left-hand side, there's the 16 ports are available for this device. If you want to run this in manual mode, you want to make a selection, I can click up here. There we go. We get one of the relays is selected. You see the green light comes on here. Green light tells me which one of the optical relay drivers is set. And then you also get, when I have this set up here, there's a load to show that the output port here on the connection would be driving a relay. So I can toggle on down through the different connections, and you can see pretty quickly, it interfaces. So this is I do have all the debug information shown up on the window here, so you can see the XML, the UDP packet that gets transferred to and from the Raspberry Pi, which controls the interface. So you can just go down, select all of 16, and not a problem. So this is the manual mode, so you can select any one. You can force one to stay on. You can force one to stay off. A lot of configurations. We can get into that in another video. Let me show you how this is controlled by N1MM, for example. So if you wanted to automatically select antennas, I'm going to put this program up on the upper right-hand side. I'm going to fire up N1MM. I have it set up for That's all right. Let's let this fire up, and we'll go from there. Give it a second. It doesn't take too long on this computer. Bringing up band scope windows and a bunch of other things. The important part is here we've got my left radio window. and my right radio window here. Now, N1MM is communicating with my radios and also putting out packets that the FreqEZ can understand. But I'm in manual mode, so if I switch this with pressing this button here, switch to auto frequency mode. Now you see when we get information from N1MM, you see a couple ports light up on the card here. You'll see they're selected also automatically on the interface to the the control program. So my right radio is on 40 meters. That's where I have my it's R2, radio 2 is connected to 40 meters. Radio 1 is connected to 80 meters. So that's my 8160 antenna. You see there's a C that shows up here, a yellow C. What that is, I'll explain that. That keeps you from selecting two radios to be on the same antenna port. There's both, in my design anyway, there's a hardware interlock, so it doesn't allow the antennas to be selected, but and also in N1MM it doesn't let you switch, but there is a control within the software for the FreqEZ that keeps you from selecting antennas that you don't want. And it's programmable. In this case, if I select port 1, which is my 160 meter, 80 meter antenna, it'll block port 1 on my other radio. That's where the C is. It's called a constraint. It's a block. And on the same side here, when I select port 2, which is my 40 meter, on radio 2, it blocks it on radio 1. So let me give you an idea here. When I'm on 80 meters on this left radio, if I want to switch to 20, I'm going to click the 20 port here. So it switches my radio to 20 meters. You can see everything switches over to 20. And also radio 1 switched over to 20, and it blocked 20 meters on the other radio. So pretty straight up. Also, I'm going to switch on my radio down here. I'm on 40 meters at the moment. I'm going to go down by changing the band there, so you can see the radio switches the program. So it switches the it switches N1MM, plus it also switched. If you notice here, you can see that it switched over to 80 meter antenna. So it's automatic. It tracks either way. It'll track it if you change your radio. It tracks it if you change the program. And if I wanted to, let's say I'm in manual mode here, I wanted to choose my second radio to be on 20 meters. I click on that C, it doesn't let me do it. If I wanted to change my second radio port to 15 meters, I can change the port to 15 meters. Of course, this doesn't switch my logging program at all. This goes into manual antenna selection mode, but it will let me switch my 15 meter antenna onto that other radio. If I take the program, move it back into automatic mode, it'll automatically adjust itself, coordinate with the logging program and the radio, and keep everything in sync. So super easy. It's connected to one thing I can show you too. This is a device on my network. Down here is where you set the IP address for the particular device. I'm going to switch over to the FreqEZ I have sitting at the base of my tower. It's about 300 feet from where I am, about 250 feet from the nearest access point. So it's a Wi-Fi connected interface out to the base of my tower, and selects one of either of my two radios to any of the six ports I have out there, and it's totally wireless. So all the connections I have 12 volts out to the base of the tower, and I have two coaxes that go out there, and the rest are all switched automatically. So that's on. I know this device is 10.0.0.15. So I'll program that to be 15. I'll close this window. You start up here, and it coordinates again, same as it was with my other one, the one I was holding in my hand. This is now at the base of my tower, and you can see that my spectrum windows now are showing on the left here. You'll see my antenna's connected. I'm getting signals showing up on the left port. And on my right, I'm on 80 meters. It's daytime, so not much going on there. So if I switch this, I'm on, let me switch to 40 meters. That should have some activity. So there I'm switching to 40 meters. You see it changes over, and yes, in fact, there is activity there. I've got some conversations going on, and yeah, you can see it switches. So it automatically does whatever you need to do, keeps track of what's going on, and that's your intro. Hopefully that's enough, and we'll dive into some details on how to do the configurations and whatever else later. Thanks for watching. KK1L.